Hello, how are you today? Welcome to Well Done Life with Daphne B. Smith. I am Daphne B. Smith, and I'm excited to spend a little bit of time with you today. I've got a question I'm going to ask you, and I want your honest answer. I want your insight. I want your opinions and your experience and your verbiage. And before I get there, for those of you who've been watching for a while, hey, girlfriend Lisa, thanks for hopping on. I was just getting ready to say, for those of you who've been watching a while, last week marked the end of 6 months. I have been Facebook Live every single week for 6 months. And for me, that is a huge commitment outside of like my husband and my kids. For me to be engaged with something that consistently, those other commitments in my life are few and far between. And I think it's super fun that Lisa was one of the first people to hop on today, because last week, marking the 6-month anniversary, she was my featured female. And I just want to give you another thank you again, Lisa, for providing some wonderful encouragement and inspiration to those who watch. And if you haven't checked her out yet, go to lisamoser.com. She's got a couple free resources for you. And I know she's getting ready to launch a program. So you'll want to make sure you're connected with her. As I start every week, I want to give a shout out or some gratitude. I like to do that because it really helps me keep focused on the main thing, and that for me is others. So today I want to give a shout out to Amy Schmidauer, or she got married last year, so you may know her as Amy Landino. Either way, Amy is the author of Vlog Like a Boss: How to Kill It Online with Video Blogging. I think Amy may have actually invented the word vlog, which is video blogging. And I guess essentially that's what I've been doing for the last 6 months. But what I really want to give a thank you to Amy and a shout out for is she is such an encourager. And she is very honest and authentic. And she knows the first few videos anybody does, they are scary and they are not wonderful, and she doesn't encourage people to wait for perfection, and I'm thankful for that, because I wouldn't have done 1 week, much less 6 months. So a big shout out to Amy, not only for her book and her encouragement and the course of hers that I'm taking, so these videos will improve, I promise. But earlier this week, it was this week, she introduced me to a quote, and I want to read it exactly. And I think she actually got the quote from Mel Robbins. When I heard this quote, just mind expanded. So here we go. You ready? You don't have self-doubt. You have a habit of doubting yourself. Think about that for a minute. You don't have self-doubt. You have a habit of doubting yourself. Any thinking pattern that you have is simply a habit. So I think that might have originally come from Mel Robbins, but it came to me through Amy Schmidauer. So ladies, both of you, thank you very much for really expanding my belief and my concepts and helping me break through some barriers. So on with the question. And the question is really today's topic. And here's the question. My question is, what do you call it? Now, hang with me for a minute. When I mean the word it, I'm referring to that stuff that happens to us in, through, and during life. So when we're born, we start with a clean slate, right? We haven't messed up. Nothing's happened to us. And we're kind of at a zero set point. And as we go through life, stuff does happen. From not getting picked on the playground to bullies, mean girls, jerky boyfriends, and we haven't even gotten out of high school yet, right? And that's just like the school component. What about family dynamics? Okay, let's face it, not every family is perfect. There's just no such thing because families are made up of people and there is no such perfect person. So stuff happens to us during our lives. And what I'd like to know is, what do you call that stuff? And I'd like to ask you to type that into the comments. Now, you may call it crap. You may call it stuff. Maybe you call it junk or garbage or baggage or trauma. What do you call it? I'd love to hear from you. And I won't give you the little caveat. Please keep it clean and appropriate, because my mother could be watching this video and chiming in. And so, when she's reading your comments, I don't want to shock her. But my question is, what do you call all that stuff in life? Those things that cause you hurt. Those things that we tend to carry along with us and that make up our mindset and that eat away at our self-esteem. So what do you call that? Lisa says, she hears a lot of people, she's not saying this, she hears a lot of people say it rhymes with hit happens. Spit happens, but shit. Okay, I'm gonna say shit. Hopefully this video still goes live. But yeah, a lot of people say that. In fact, they've made a whole line of clothing, haven't they? Bumper stickers and all that kind of stuff. I call it, and it's kind of along those same lines, I call it crap. That's just the word I use to define all that stuff. It is, in my opinion, crap. And for those of you who've been watching these videos for any period of time, know that I am fond of acronyms, being the word nerd that I am. So to me, crap, Lisa's apologizing to my mom. I love it. I need to apologize to my mom. To me, crap stands for 4 different things. And here they are. One of them, the C in crap, is chaos. Okay? The R in crap stands for rules. The A in crap stands for attitudes. And the P in crap stands for perceptions. And when we allow all of those things, which most of them are wrong, they're lies, they're not truth, they're not reality, they're not facts. When we allow those things to determine who we are, it's a bunch of crap. And so I want to know, again, type it in. What do you call it? Let me hear from you, either in the live version or the replay. I do know this. No matter what you call it, we cannot heal or acknowledge, we cannot heal or change that which we do not acknowledge. And if we don't label it, we can't acknowledge it. So this is why I want to encourage you to identify it. Because once you identify it, you can let it go, and then you can grow. You can get beyond all of those things, whether it be crap or junk or garbage or baggage or, something else. Whatever it is, you as an organic, living, breathing human being, you've got the ability to heal from it. First, you've got to identify it so that you can let it go. And yeah, Lisa, you're right. Everyone has their stuff. That's why there's no perfect people. Not easy for me to say. That's why there aren't any perfect people in this world, because we do all have our stuff. And it was actually Socrates. So yes, on this one video, I've gone from quoting Amy Schmittauer, Landino, and Mel Robbins to Socrates. It was Socrates who said, "The unexamined life is not worth living." It's kind of harsh. It can be kind of sad, and it's very true. When we go through our life numb, living in default, ignoring, putting on that brave front, that didn't bother me, just like rolled off me like duck on water on a duck's back. I gotta get better on my phrases. I'm like Teflon, it just bounces off me. Doesn't really. It really, really doesn't. And I'm not trying to, get you to go there if you're not ready. I encourage you to get ready, because the longer you carry that stuff, again, whether you call it crap or junk or garbage or stuff or baggage, whatever you call it, as long as you hang on to it, it's dragging you down. You're falling short of living a well-done life because it causes us to numb ourselves. We can go stronger. Hey, Jane, glad you're here. Thanks for joining us. We're talking about that stuff in life that happens, and I want to know what people call it. I call it crap. I've asked people to keep their comments clean because I think my mom's going to see this. So what do you call that stuff, Jane? Those hurts, those disappointments, those failures, those rejections, that stuff that we carry around. What do you call it? I want to hear from y'all. And I want you to remember that acknowledging it is actually less scary than ignoring it. That's good. I just thought of that. Acknowledging it is less scary than ignoring it. So when we acknowledge it, whatever it is, whatever you call it, then we have reclaimed our power. And we are in a position to grow forward and grow beyond it. And that's a little bit of a segue into a cheap, shameless plug, because this time next week, I will have in my hot little hand, like I showed you Amy's book earlier, I'll have the proof copy for my book called What's Your Scarlet Letter? Recognize your hurts, release your shame, and reclaim your voice. So all this kind of ties together for me. I'm passionate about people becoming free from their crap. Clearing your crap is what I am fired up about. And so if you would like to know more about the book's release, about a free assessment I'm going to have available, I've got right here a link that I am putting into the comments. Go there, subscribe. You'll get a welcome email. Then when the assessment's ready, you'll get the assessment. I don't like getting a bunch of emails, so you're not going to get a bunch of emails from me. I just want you to simply be aware of what's coming up and what's available. So I want to thank each of you for joining me today. Thank you, Jane. You're going to be hearing more about clearing your crap coming soon. And Lisa, thank you for your input today. And for those of you who are watching the replay, thank you in advance for your time and for your input. So what do you call it? Is it crap? Is it junk? Is it stuff? Is it garbage? Is it baggage? What is the catch-all phrase that you use for that? Blech. And on that note, I'm going to say thank you again and bye for now, and encourage you to remember you can live today and every day as a well-done life. Bye.